I hate puppies.
It's a good podcast.
I feel threatened.
Focus the whole time.
Well, that's the problem, right? Ruins focus. So
Focus,
hopefully it won't.
Danielson.
Focus. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House. Thank you for joining us yet again. We are glad to have you on board. And
We are?
I am.
Yeah, we are.
And hopefully you have Cincinnati swapped someone this weekend. So to you, that new person, that dude Cincinnati swapped you, welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Glad to have you here. I just
You should be kissing his hairy beanbag.
That sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Assuming there's hair.
Yes.
There's other beanbags?
Or his egg smooth huevos.
That egg smooth eggs?
Yes.
That's okay.
Double eggs.
Just
There's
confirming.
two down there.
There's 2 eggs.
I'm feeling a little jacked up. Right before I started, I had a double espresso.
Ooh, nice. I
could
could have used one of those.
I saw my pops have one before he was leaving, and I was like, yeah.
But he's
I
got to
want
drive
one
a
of
couple
those.
hours. You got to stand here.
It looked cool
Same
at
thing.
the.
Potato, potato.
It's been a long day. It was my daughter's 8th birthday, and we went out this morning. And first thing, like, we had to get ice cream. And
Yeah.
we went down to that dairy bar down in Scott's Addition.
That place is so good.
There's
So
no ice
good.
cream between here and there?
We wanted big Sundays,
Oh.
and apparently we had oversold some spot that wasn't open on Sundays.
Which one?
Mabel's.
The one in Powhatan?
Yeah. That place is overrated.
That's what I've always heard.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too upset.
As
to miss
far
it.
as the ice cream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it looks amazing, but the milkshakes are no better than any other milk. Like a cookout milkshake kicks the
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
out of it, but the thing's a piece of art. I mean, it's got like fucking Oreos and Twinkies and whole
Hella
candy bars hanging
drizzle.
off.
Yeah.
Like it looks amazing. So you're like, oh man, you take all the whipped cream and the extras off, and you drink the milkshake. You're like, nah,
it's a milkshake.
yeah.
Right.
Sounds about right. Well,
And they're $12 a piece, which to me, a lot of people would say that's outrageous. But it's like, no, you're getting full candy bars and like crazy ass shit on there.
I also can't eat a ton of ice cream. Like,
Yeah.
the whole fancy this big, I don't need that.
Yeah.
And it's weird coming from me. Like, I'm one of the biggest chocolate or sugar people you'll ever meet, but I cannot eat that much ice cream. Who
Yeah.
the fuck? I feel like at some point it's just novelty. Like, you're just making this giant fucking thing that half of it's getting thrown into the trash.
I think that was my concern with
Yeah.
that place. That it's
Yeah.
just a novelty. I had 2 scoops of ice cream.
Like, okay,
That was
who
good.
gets the fucking gigantic bowl at Sweet Frog? Anyone?
Yeah. Why would you ever?
Who the fuck does that?
or
Do
at,
you really?
I do. Yeah, I do.
or
Jesus.
at anywhere, like Cold Stone or
Right.
the big Blizzard. Like you can get the smallest Blizzard they have, and you're like, oh, that's
Satiated.
good. Yeah.
Right. I'm solid.
I got issues on that one. I don't know why. I see it. And
I don't
go,
either
I want
because
the big one.
I'm one of the fattest people on earth, but I just don't have that. For
Yeah.
some
I don't.
reason.
Me either.
Ice cream is my problem.
Really?
Yeah, ice cream is like I love ice cream.
I
So
get
this morning
sick.
I was fired up.
And I will like if I do get the big one, I would eat it till I got sick.
Yeah.
And it's
After a
like,
while,
I don't
start
need it.
getting where I'm just thirsty for water.
Yeah.
This is okay.
I've been thirsty ever since this morning when I did that.
Yeah.
And I'm still thirsty now, and beer's
about-
not helping.
What about people who don't drink hella water? I don't understand that. Like,
yeah.
I carry around a cup of water with me almost all the time. I mean, I can't ever. And if I'm thirsty, I don't care what any scientist says. You can Gatorade and go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
Like,
that shit is another good thing. It's
like-
like it's got these electrolytes. Like, bitch, as long as you're eating salty food, you need to be drinking water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you should be drinking water constantly any day.
You're not running a
Yeah.
marathon.
Right.
Like you're going throughout your day. Like
I'm real hit or miss though, because I'm either on the road or I'm at home. When I'm at home, it's all day water, piss and clear. You get on the road and you're not drinking enough water because you're like hopping from meeting to meeting all day long, and it's like
Yeah.
it just sucks. You don't get enough water, and I'm talking the whole damn time, which doesn't help. That's why I like.
You might sell more if you had some Gatorade
I might. I
Yeah.
might be better at my job,
leaking down the bottle, running down your elbow.
or I'll be peeing all the time.
The
That
fun-
is running down my elbow, just.
Yeah, super sport squeeze.
You want this shit?
besides selling water, which is the greatest ripoff of all time,
Yeah.
the Gatorade 50 is, or whatever they call it, is the watered down Gatorade.
Yeah.
It's even better. It's
Yeah.
like the same price as the
It is.
Gatorade. They just cut it with water.
For sure.
Like, yeah,
Okay.
man. Yeah.
We'll sell you a healthier option, dummies.
I
You
do
could just
like
add
I
your
like
own
that
water,
stuff,
but
though.
I love it. It's way better.
Yeah.
It is way better
Yeah,
if you're gonna drink it.
yeah.
I'll do that. I'll get halfway through a bottle of Gatorade and then
Top it off,
fill
yeah.
it up with water, because then I really like my second Gatorade better.
Yeah,
I do that with almost every juice.
I do that too. Like,
Yeah.
like, even if it's just like a flavored water,
Right.
I will go fill that bitch up halfway through.
yeah.
Because I'm scamming the system. Look at
I
me,
mean, I think it tastes
making
better.
money.
It
Like I
does.
taste some shit, and I'm like, that is so much sugar.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was cool when I was 14, but
Yeah.
now I'm like, fuck, what is this? Like seriously?
Yeah.
And it's because there's so many snot-nosed motherfuckers and 20-years that are like, I can't get enough.
Yeah.
We do love our sugar. Of course,
Yeah.
I was facing ice cream, so
Yeah,
it's been a
the
gluttonous
best.
week.
I saw y'all went roller skating yesterday.
Unfortunately,
What?
yes.
You didn't even
Yeah.
let me know,
I was about to
dude.
say, we'd have gone.
Yeah.
It was a again
Bunch of punk ass bitches.
Yeah.
8-year-old birthday. This has been
It's
a
my wheelhouse.
crazy weekend.
Yeah.
8-year-old birthdays.
Yesterday was like I woke up, had to go to the roller skating rink, rock roller skating all.
You mean got to go to the roller skating?
Gots to go. Tore
Had to
that
go.
up, and then immediately went to a 70th birthday surprise dinner, followed by a belated Christmas. It was just like,
Belated Christmas.
Well, how was the
Yeah,
surprise?
we
First
missed-
off, like, was it an actual surprise?
yeah, and it went over really well. It was
That's good.
Yeah, but so this whole weekend has been nothing but just celebrating,
Birthday parties?
celebrating, eating too much.
Yeah, Christmas is long gone, dude.
Yeah.
Well, we had Christmas planned, and then like illness struck
Oh, you
the
know what we
house.
guys forgot this year? Christmas.
No, I knew there was something
That's
big.
on me.
Yeah, that's right. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was late, but it was all good. It was all good. It worked out well for my brother-in-law because all he wanted was Richmond craft beers. And so I had a whole stockpile, and then his whole family faked illness so that we didn't have Christmas because he knew that then I would still be going to breweries and continued to build his stockpile. He got a boatload of beer by the time Christmas came around. So
Why does he like Richmond
Well
craft
played.
beer so much?
he just doesn't live here.
Yeah.
He wanted to get his hands on, the Richmond craft beers. We are a popular beer destination, apparently.
I don't think all of them are knockouts, though.
Absolutely not. And we've done some delis to prove it.
Yeah.
We are,
But that's probably the whole craft beer scene.
in general.
In general, yeah.
I'm actually excited about our deli today. We'll get more into that for sure. So you were in bars all weekend too.
Yeah,
man.
I went out last night. Jason was in town.
Good old Double J,
Yeah, he got a house. He bought a house, and they
In
closed
Richmond?
on it. No, in
South Carolina.
yeah, but he came up. So he came up yesterday to record because he's cutting an album. So he went up to Charlottesville, and then this band Horsehead that he's invited us out to in the past. They play here.
I actually have an album of theirs that one day he just gave me an album. He's like, "You're gonna love these guys." I was like, "Hell yeah!"
I don't know. Are they a Richmond band? I don't know. Anyway, so he had shot you and I a text saying I'll be at the Camel at 8:00. See this band. So my night was free, and I was like, all right, I'll go out there check it out.
And you surprised him, right?
Yeah, surprise. Well, I showed up at 8:30, and his ass wasn't there, and I was like, all right. So I was like, do I text him? Is he still coming? And I texted you, and you were like, oh, he'll be there. That's his band. So I was
So
like,
you don't drive in from South Carolina to see a
Yeah.
concert and then just not go.
exactly.
So-
But I didn't know if there was an emergency or something. You never know. So I was like, well, I'll just grab a seat at the bar, and I'll wait. So I sit down at the bar, and I'm like, hey, there's a seat. And I was like, said to the dude sitting next to the seat, I was like, hey, man, anybody sitting here? He's like, no, you are. I was like, cool. Ordered a beer. I was like, hey, do you know the band that's playing here tonight? He was like, yeah, mine.
Oh shit!
Nice.
How did you ask that question? Because that just like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like incredulous. Like, do you know?
I was like, do you know the band that's playing here tonight? And he was like, yeah, mine. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, what's the name of it? He's like, Horsehead. And I was like, and I
this
was
is
like,
going great.
I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I've heard. That's right. That rings a bell. Jason has told me about you guys, and he was really nice. But it was just kind of an awkward moment for me.
Yeah.
Like,
That is
ooh, like, I mean, you're not that famous, but
more famous than you should be. Like, hey man, you mind buying me a beer?
yeah,
Like, yeah, I'll take a Coors Light. Like,
yeah. You would think like he would like to think. Well, he was like, thanks for coming out. That your buddy said we were good, and I appreciate you coming out. But he could have been like, why the hell are you here if you don't even know which band it is?
Yeah.
Well, how much for tickets?
$10. Well, I didn't know. I just went. It was $10 at the door.
Yeah, see, you can drop $10 on a band that you don't know.
Yeah.
You're not going to drop 30.
No.
You're like, nah, I'm good.
But of course, there were 2 opening bands. They were all right. But
that's so butt awkward.
Yeah, it was a little. I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and sip my beer.
At least you didn't lead with like, my boy likes some shit music. He was talking about this band. So.
Drug my ass out here.
He's special needs, and he has an awful ear.
There is
you should see the shit he picks.
The worst. So what do you do?
Yeah.
Who are you here with? Did you get drug out here too? Poor dude.
There's something awkward about being at like a bar show like that by yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're always kind of like dancing around, trying to do your thing. And you don't look cool when no one's talking to you. And everyone's like, hey, just steer clear of the narc if you're going to light that.
Exactly.
Like, that dude over there is a narc.
And there were plenty of randos there too, like of different age groups, and they were waiting for people, I guess, too. It was just very weird.
Yeah.
But it ended up packing
How was
in. It was good. They were really good.
Really?
Do you ever go to shows by yourself?
No, I don't go much. I don't go many places by myself, especially an event.
Yeah. Do you ever do that?
I mean, I would. I have not, though.
I've done it before, and it's like,
I mean, if you're out
I just
of town,
don't like it as much.
I mean, if you're out of town and you're by yourself,
Yeah,
I think
work
that's
is a good reason
yeah.
why I would.
I think that's always the circumstance.
Yeah.
It's like you just happen upon something, like, oh, that's good, and like just catch a little bit of it. I've gone to a baseball game by myself. I've done stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I
just
mean,
not
whenever
as
I'm
fun.
out of town at work, I end up going somewhere by myself, eating by myself, and going to a bar by myself, and I have no problems doing that.
I got a buddy who goes to shows by himself all the time, like all the time. Like
Because he likes different music that other people don't want to go. I mean, most of the things I'm going to go out for, most people I know would like to go to said event too.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I don't know why this guy does that, but like he's done it so many times that I no longer even think twice when he's like, oh, I'm going to this show by myself. And he'll like drive to a show like an hour away, go catch a concert by himself.
interesting.
He
It's
was
a
at
little odd.
He was at a Bubba Sparks show not too long ago. That was a few towns over. He's like, Bubba Sparks? Like, I'm going to miss that. Like, drove on out, saw Bubba Sparks by himself. He's like texting me. He's like, they're playing Deliverance. I'm like, that's great. But
Yeah.
definitely by yourself at a Bubba Sparks show.
Yeah. That's why you're texting me.
Yeah, because you need a friend.
Right.
Yeah, and you want to look like you know somebody, so you're texting.
Yeah.
Everyone around me was doing it.
Yeah, I just had to text somebody.
I'm going
Yeah.
to a movie by myself in the middle of the day, like on an off day from work or something. But usually, like, I'd rather go watch a movie with somebody because to me, the fun part of the movie is chatting about it afterwards. Like, oh, man, that part was cool, or didn't see that coming. Or
Yeah.
Movie, even though I've never done it, does make more sense, though, because it's not like you're going to talk to
Yeah.
someone for those 2 hours anyway.
Yeah.
So you could go see it by yourself.
Yeah.
And then you get the good seat
Yeah.
right in between these two people.
That's right. Right dead center.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Don't mind me.
Juju fruits? Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
You done with that popcorn? I noticed you haven't touched it in a while.
You want some of mine? That's butt awkward. So how are you? I know you're a big car guy.
Yeah.
Like, love cars.
Love them.
Ely motored
thing.
out. You've been spending a
It's
lot
my
of time
hobby.
in your garage as of
Yeah.
late.
Yes. Well, somewhat. Not a ton.
I've been looking at. I think we know. I rented that Jeep Wrangler a while back,
Yeah.
and I have been flat out in love with like that Jeep Wrangler and the new one in particular. Which, for the life of me, I cannot understand how you spend $50,000 on a Jeep. I mean,
There's tons of Jeep Homers out there.
That's right.
but it's a Jeep.
Exactly.
It just seems odd to me.
Yeah. Just think you couldn't even pull your boat with it.
Cannot.
Yeah.
Cannot.
They're also loaded now. Like the Jeeps up 30 years ago just had nothing in them. Now they have leather and power everything and, backup cameras and all this silly shit that every SUV has because now that's what they are. They're SUVs, like, or CUVs or whatever.
And they're nice. I mean, the new ones are
Yeah.
badass. Like, I get it, but I can't do the mental hurdle because I was looking at them and I'm like, wow, $50,000, that's crazy. And then I started looking at the cars you can get for $50,000.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Mind blowing.
Like, some of these are like, you get a BMW for $50,000 and a nice one at
Yeah.
that. And that blew my mind. But I keep doing research on these Jeeps because I'm like, I really do want one. They're badass. And I saw something that kind of it took me aback a bit, that Jeep is going to come out with an all-electric Jeep Wrangler in like 20 or 21.
It seems like everyone's doing that.
It does.
Yeah.
And that got me kind of because
Harley's doing that.
so you know what's funny about that is Harley has those live wire motorcycles right now that came out, and everyone's complaining that $30,000 for a motorcycle's too much money.
Yeah.
So they've been kind of getting panned for it. Well, Harley was at CES just a couple weeks ago, and they had their live wire bike sitting there. Well, what no one was talking about was just next to that were two other electric motorcycles. They weren't the live wire. They had one that looked like
Harley's.
Harley's.
Okay.
Like Harley is making two other electric
okay.
motorcycles. And one of them is like a glorified mountain bike. So I would consider it more like a dirt bike, a stripped down electric dirt bike. And then they had
That is a road bike?
then they had another one that's a road bike that is like a really stripped down live wire. So the live wire was made to look like a big motorcycle.
Right.
This other one they had was really stripped down and looked like a better electric bicycle as far as its size.
Do I understand correctly that they make noise?
I don't know.
I thought I heard something that they make some fake ass noise to make them sound like something.
I know that coming out on the Teslas, there's a little noisemaker because something was passed that at low speeds they have to make noise because pedestrians aren't hearing these electric cars.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me because that is a mandate now that electric cars are actually going to make a noise.
Should make the noise that the
Interesting.
Jetsons mobile makes.
That would be great. Can we lobby for that?
Yeah, I mean, because that's
Yeah.
better than like just engine noise, like
For
because
sure.
that's gonna sound faker than hell. Like,
It will.
obviously the like that's fake, but it's like
It's awesome.
it's
It is cool.
some next level shit. Like that's what my electric car should sound like.
Yeah.
So I think, though, that people are pointing at that Harley Livewire and saying it costs too much. And Harley stock's been in the toilet.
Really?
Oh, it's because millennials don't buy them. They don't
Right.
see the need to have a big, stupid Harley.
Well, and there's
But
a lot
did
of other.
millennials ever buy them? Did the younger generation ever buy them?
Well, there was a time in the late 90s where everybody, young and old, wanted a Harley. That was like their heyday. It really...
Well, I see what Ely's saying, and I agree with you. I don't think young people really bought them in mass compared to the old people, but they wanted to. Like when they got to the level of owning a bike, then they would. But now I
can see that,
I don't think
yeah.
young people. It's like it's not cool.
You
like,
mean when a young person turns 30, they don't want a Harley?
yeah.
No, they want a CBR, Gixxer. They want something fast.
No, because, see,
I mean, that's just my take. Because those bikes still sell.
I think it's that they don't want a motorcycle.
My dad's been trying to sell a Harley for like $3,000 right now. That's in great condition, and no one.
I find
has
it crazy
reached
that your dad's selling a Harley and you haven't brought it down here yet.
Yeah.
out. That is something that we've talked about,
That's weird.
to say the least. But I got all that Miata going on. That's a lot of vehicle.
Yeah. Too much testosterone in that motorcycle.
Yeah.
But I think what people are missing the point of is Harley has made two vehicles that no one's talking about.
But it sounds like both of them aren't even road bikes.
Well, one of them was a road bike, one of them was a dirt bike. They're just slightly different. And this thing, honestly, when you saw
Why
it,
the fuck is Harley making a dirt bike?
I don't know.
That's weird.
But it looks like a mountain bike.
Stay
Like
in
it's
your
got
lane,
it's got
Harley.
big old shocks and knobby tires.
Yeah.
But these things are going to cost significantly less than the big live
It's one of
wire
those
they're
cross,
producing.
whatever they call them, cross where you can take them on and off road.
My
A
guess,
lot of places make those.
my guess would be now is probably a good time to buy Harley stock because they're the ones who are going to push the electric motorcycle. Them and Ducati, the first ones that have really pushed it.
Yeah.
And these two looked like they were going to be low rent, low cost, like maintenance-free little vehicles. So,
Electric motorcycles make sense. The whole electric car thing, I'm kind of on the fence about because exactly what you said about the Jeep, like you can't tow anything with them, right? Like, I mean, they have the torque, but I would assume if you tow anything behind an electric anything, the battery is just going to go.
but it's got
just
more.
drop.
It's got instant power,
Yeah.
more torque. So it's funny. I saw the Jeep Wrangler, and I thought to myself, I don't know if this is suited for
You saw the
off-road.
electric one, you said?
I just saw that blurb that it was
okay.
coming out, and I was like, does that make sense? Because I understand like a Roadster, like that Tesla Roadster.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
disgusting.
but Tesla's making semis, so I mean that's the
So
ultimate.
I
Well,
started.
they're going to tow, so I guess that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're going to have a larger battery pack.
Oh, for sure.
Than,
A Tesla Model 3 can tow more than a Jeep. There's no doubt.
yeah, but not for distance.
Maybe not. Maybe not. That would make
I would
sense.
assume.
Yeah, that would make sense. But so I started looking into, because I got really intrigued by the concept of an electric Jeep. And then I thought, that's crazy because that is like a rugged, manly ass vehicle. That is like about as rugged as a vehicle is in the production world. And they're thinking about going all electric. So I started like spinning my wheels thinking about electric cars. And I've been reading about electric cars now. I really kind of got into like a rabbit hole. And I've been
Nice.
spending a lot of time with them. I've learned a lot. I've never driven an electric car. Have you ever driven an electric car?
It's like a golf cart on steroids. But
So
no, I haven't.
And have you either?
I don't think I have. No.
I'm like, I
did
haven't
re-
either, but I'm
did
completely
recently-
intrigued.
I did recently drive one of those cars that has the lane assist thing where it pulls you back into the lane. That was an interesting phenomenon. To I didn't even know the car had it, and I'm driving and going around a turn, and the wheels like
Starts pushing back
yeah, and
on
I'm like,
you.
what
Yeah.
the hell is going on here?
Yeah, that shit's annoying.
Yeah.
I'm just,
We turned it off on the Yukon.
Oh, so your car has one?
Yeah, it was just too annoying.
yeah, and if you change lanes without a turn signal or you're a late turn
That,
signal guy,
yeah.
it's a giant pain in the ass.
Exactly.
Which I tend to use turn signals, but if I know there's no one around me,
Yeah.
I don't take the time.
Yeah, if you're going down a 2-lane road by yourself and you don't see anyone for miles.
Yeah, and my car's all beep 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 beep. Beep. And mine doesn't push back. Thank God.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, it doesn't want it. It's not full blown. It doesn't push back.
Yeah.
I'm curious that the technology's been around for years now with the emergency stop. Like, why didn't every car now have that? I feel like that's a no-brainer.
That shit freaks me out though. That a car can stop on its own.
But if there's one safety feature, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of seatbelts and airbags, but like in crumble zones. But like, we've all looked down away from the road, and we've all almost run into the back of someone or something. Like,
Exactly.
that seems like a no-brainer.
So how long? This is funny because I ended up jotting down a bunch of notes today. When do you think the first electric car was actually like produced for public use?
1942.
Yeah, I would.
1828. Like how crazy
off.
is that? There was a guy in Hungary who built the first one in 1828, and then they really got like perfected.
I wouldn't have thought there were batteries around then.
Well, they weren't good batteries.
Yeah.
So that was part of the problem. But I guess like the heyday, 1859 is when they officially came out with the lead battery that made them like usable to
Yeah.
the point that
Wow.
it was like a solid idea.
That's crazy.
That's
How
what
come-
I'm saying. It's
how come
No
wild.
thanks. I'll keep my horse.
Yeah, I was like, how come in the battlefields during the Civil War you didn't see electric vehicles just plowing into
Oh, yeah.
motherfuckers?
They were in the tanks.
You know where you saw them in the coal mines? They had electric
Yeah, that
trains.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to burn up any of the oxygen. Oxygen is so precious.
Yeah.
That they were running electric trains in and out of there.
Interesting.
Like in the 1800s. Like this is, and then in 1884, a guy named Thomas Parker.
Wouldn't your head have exploded the first time you saw that? In the
Yes.
1800s, you've been like, where's the horse that draws this coal
Yeah.
truck
Yeah.
out of the mine? Like,
What's this wizardry?
is there magic down here?
Yeah.
1884, a guy named Thomas Parker. He's the one who
TP.
made
Yeah.
obviously.
Everybody knows
He
that.
made the London Underground, like so the electric subway system. He invented a production car, and by the 1890s to the early 1900s, that was like crazy heyday. Like everyone was driving electric cars. I didn't know. I always thought electric cars were like a new
Yeah.
thing. This is crazy to me. In 1912, 38% of all the cars in the U.S. were electric.
That's crazy.
That's insane because that's during the heyday of the Model T.
22% of cars were gas. You know, the other 40% was steam. Blew my mind. But
Yeah.
that's how many electric cars were on the road. The problem was that they couldn't go but so far. You know, they would get like,
That's still the problem.
To the end of the street. Like,
Yeah.
where's that going?
yeah, you'd get like 50 miles out of it if you
Yeah.
were lucky. But they were used.
So The ones in the 1800s.
You got any more of them double A's? I gotta get home.
You're saying electric? They probably weren't battery powered. They were
No,
powered.
it's in the late 1800s when they came up with battery powered.
No, but I'm saying the coal mines, like they were just powered.
That was just powered on a track.
Yeah.
That was a little different. But yeah, in 1912,
So that's not really a car.
In 1912, they were using battery packs.
Okay, so like you were off grid basically.
And back then, in the 1800s, early 1900s, all of like the land speed records, all of that was all electric.
Oh yeah,
because they could get flying. We're talking 60 to 65 miles an hour,
Jeez.
which they were like, "What the fuck is happening?"
dude,
Like,
your head would explode if you were on that whatever piece of shit vehicle that was in that age going that fast.
they actually had a belief that females, because of the uterus, could not go above like 40 miles an hour.
Belief? You mean science?
That's what they called it.
It's still to this day, right?
So, and this blows my mind. From 1910 to 1924 across the U.S., they had a battery exchange program that covered over 6 million miles of roads in the U.S. where you could go, because they had gotten to the point where you would just pull up, they would change your battery, and you'd keep going.
That makes sense.
That's awesome.
Like
that would
was
be
crazy.
Wouldn't that be better than what we're doing now? Honestly, like if you went instead of having to wait an hour to charge a vehicle, just change the whole battery
just
pack.
battery
out.
exchange.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They modified all of the electric cars that were on the road to have just interchangeable battery packs.
Yeah.
In fact, Chicago had a whole system just for their city. Like a guy went in and set them up, and Chicago was like ripe with these fucking things.
Wow.
They're all over the place. Yeah, this is all stuff. I was like, this is crazy to me. That's why I started writing
Serious
it down.
rabbit hole.
Yeah.
it's very true. So do you know what killed it though? Obviously,
The internal combustion engine.
Yeah.
well, Henry Ford, because
Well, the politicians probably got in and
because Ford was tied to a lot of the politics and a lot of what was going on. But the production line, the assembly line, is what ended up killing it, because he went with the gas instead of the electric because he could get more range out of it. And when he invented the assembly line,
he's making them like 100 to 1 or something silly like that.
they became half the price of an electric car.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
all of a sudden, everybody was like, "I'm in." Like, why would I pay double for a car that I got to go find a battery when I could just put some of this dinosaur juice,
Yeah.
roll on? So yeah, that's what ultimately killed it. And then the other thing was, gas cars were loud as shit. They had no mufflers. It was just an engine rolling along. They invented the muffler right about the time Henry Ford was doing the Model Ts.
Yep.
Changed everything.
Oh,
so all of a sudden it got quiet. That was
Quieter, because I'm
That's a
sure those
wrap.
things were loud as shit anyway.
That was it. And then by the late 1920s, there wasn't a single person manufacturing electric cars in the U.S.
That is crazy.
Like, that's how fast. Just, 10 years prior, there was 6 million miles of,
Well, it's crazy
of
to think
battery
there was
changing
no
station.
Elon Musk of that era that was like, this is still good and we're going to stick it out. Like, I understand they got pushed out, but if someone could have stuck that out, we might already have electric cars.
Well, we found oil reserves.
Yeah.
Around that time is when the oil boom happened. Well, those people started making money. Before that, oil was fucking worthless.
Yeah.
Literally, people were taking it, trying to get rid of, it was like snake oil. People
Yeah.
were taking that stuff. So then once they started to be able to put it in the engine, now these people who had found all this oil were able to make money. So they joined forces with Ford.
and we
Ford
had a
pushed
surplus
out.
of it.
We had something that was now a commodity, so
Yeah.
we pushed it forward to make the country more prosperous. So all of these things kind of came into play and killed the electric. And it wasn't again until a lot later that it ever came back. But the technology's always worked. I mean, the first vehicle on the moon rover in
Electric.
71, electric.
I thought you were going to say the shuttle.
No, we burn more oil on that bad boy than ever. So then the electric
Oxygen
car,
or oil?
all of the above, right?
Yeah.
You would need it. But think about how fucking stupid the combustion engine is. My dad and I were talking about this. It's like, it takes 4 different strokes.
Yeah.
You power it down, then you got to fire it to power the piston back up. It takes 4 strokes. One of them is actually producing power for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a total inefficient
it's-
waste of energy.
Well, it's a bomb. Just a steady bomb
Controlled
going off.
bomb over and over and
Controlled
over.
explosions going off a million times.
And you wonder why these things break down and why they have so many crazy parts. I mean,
Yeah.
It's wild. But so the electric car completely went away until the 90s is when it first came back. And I didn't even know this existed. apparently there's something called CARB, what's that? California Air Resources Board. And they were all those people. Like, you still have emissions
Sounds about
controls
right.
in California that are just ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Well, these guys passed all these ridiculous regulations, and they told the top 7 car manufacturers that you cannot sell a car in California unless you have a car that is zero emissions. Like, you can put, or the emissions were so good, that California would allow it.
Yeah.
So they forced their hand, like California did. And the car manufacturers like, I don't want to lose out on California altogether. Yeah. So they acquiesced, right? So what they do, they made electric vehicles. And these things were going 60 miles to 100 miles on a single charge. Like, they were fairly good. Dude, I was blown away at some of the vehicles that were being made here. They had the Ford Ranger pickup. They had an all-electric version for sale in California. The Chevy S10. Honda had one called the EV. They had
that one.
They had a RAV4. I thought the RAV4 came out much later, but in the 90s, there was an all-electric RAV4. Like,
That's
all
crazy.
these companies were making, and there was one that still gets a lot of conspiracy theories around it. It was called the GM EV1. And what these car companies did is they didn't want to lose out. So what they did is they would say, you can't buy them. You can buy a lease. So you could lease these cars, and it was a way to kind of skirt the rule in California.
Okay.
So you would get it for 2 years, but then you had to turn it in. There was no ability to buy it out, because the car makers, as soon as they started making them, realized these things are far too reliable. We're not making
they never break down.
any money.
Yeah.
So they hated them. So they didn't want to sell them. And then Bush was in office back then, the elder Bush, and
R.I.P.
And he was always behind, their oil money. That's where they all came from. So he was like, fuck this. We don't want that. So he was on board with pushing back. They ultimately got rid of it, like, completely. Like, they got rid of these things after a couple years. But the GM EV1, they ended up having those, like, they took them all back at the end of the leases and just crushed them.
Wow.
And that's what all these manufacturers started doing, because they didn't want the technology to
Out
ever get back out. Because
crazy.
after the lobbyists from the oil companies and all the auto manufacturers came in and shut it down,
Yeah.
they were like, good, crush them, get rid of the technology. We never want to see it again. So it completely stifled the growth of the electric car for all this time. And when you think about reliability, I mean, let's
They are hella
talk
reliable.
about that for a
absolutely.
second, right?
That's the best thing they have going for them. Like, brushless electric motor, like, nothing ever goes wrong with it.
Right.
I mean,
and think, all right, so
instant power.
you've got timing belts, you've got spark plugs.
Yeah.
You got all these things that you need in
The
a
fuel messes. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a million things that could go wrong. In
Once you go to a motor that has one moving part, literally one moving part, versus dozens of parts that have to move in unison at all times to make it work, the likelihood of you having a failure reduces by however many more parts there are in that gas vehicle. So they're completely reliable, to the point now that they're realizing that Teslas haven't even been having their brakes changed, because when you start to slow down, it's just the resistance of that motor.
Yeah, they got that regen motor where the takes that power, puts it back into the batteries, recharges the batteries as you're braking.
Which that consumption of power to go back in, that's what's slowing you down.
Yeah.
And it's forcing you to slow down. So your brakes are barely doing shit unless you have to really jam the brakes.
Yeah.
So it's rare you end up even really using the brakes.
I remember they had that back in the late 90s on golf cars when I was doing golf car mechanics. Like, you would go down a hill on an electric golf car, you take your foot off the gas, and it wouldn't just sail at top speed because that regen braking would just kick in and you just go, woo, 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 and it would be charging the battery the whole way down the hill. Now, it's not a full charge, but it's whatever the percentage is gives you that much extra at the end of the
So
day.
what are you going to replace on an electric car? Like windshield wipers and suspension pieces.
Yeah, light bulbs.
That's what it's going to come down
Actually,
to.
they're probably LEDs now, so it's probably you're hardly replacing those.
Yeah. So the suspension's what you're going to have to worry about for the most part, because that's going to wear
Tires.
down over time. Yeah, tires, general shit like that. But you're taking out
Batteries too. I think they go bad after.
And that's what I'm wondering. Like, we haven't really seen what it's going to cost to replace your power.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be as significant as like an engine,
old,
right?
Yeah, it is. In the old hybrid that I had, I think the battery, if they go bad, was I don't know, a few grand.
And that's
like
a
that.
far less important battery because that's just the
Right.
hybrid. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not the full, which
But it's also a fraction of the cost.
that's what I'm saying. Imagine how bad it's going to be when your car's
I know
entire
in
power plant.
golf cars, like, whatever, you could buy a golf car 3-4 grand and replace the batteries would be like 300-400. So it's 10% of your total,
It
price
makes
of
sense.
the vehicle. But, I mean, that's a fair trade-off, right?
Yeah.
So the hybrid's got to be like the pager, right? Like the pager was that stepping stone that got us to cell phones. It showed up for a small moment of time.
Yeah.
It fit you're like, oh, we're communicating in real time to my hip.
Yeah, can you explain pagers to the kids these days? And, like, I bet it would not make any sense to them how important pagers were back in the day.
Have you seen those videos of the kids that get 3 minutes to use this rotary phone?
They can't figure it out
Oh
for the
my
life
God.
of them. It's the best.
I have not seen that,
That's
but that's
pretty
got to be
funny.
hilarious.
It's awesome. They don't even pick up the phone half the time.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that never crossed their mind.
Yeah.
They're just like, I don't know. It's not doing
Because
anything.
if you tell someone what a pager is, it doesn't make sense.
They're like
No.
waving their hands over the rotary and stuff. Like they cannot fathom how this works. But I gotta think that the hybrids are that. They're the pager. They're the middle ground. Because what is the
They're
point?
getting out of them, right? I feel like there's less hybrids than there were.
They're-
No, I don't think so.
Oh, they're moving over to all electric for the most part. I mean, they're still out there because right now there's still a use. It's just extending your range. But what you're cutting to now is the plug-in hybrid. So you can either go all electric or then use the gas to supplement when you're running out so that you don't have to have as much battery with you. If it has a range of 100 miles, that's sufficient for most people, whereas a Tesla will go 300 miles.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm seeing a lot of is the plug-in hybrid, which is a little bit different.
That's interesting. I was not aware of that.
That's because remember like the Chevy Volt, now it's
Yeah.
the Chevy Bolt. It's like it went over to full plug-in.
No, the Chevy Volt was full plug-in.
That's well then maybe the Bolt is the hybrid. They I think that's the one where they
Weren't they
flip-flop.
like the hybrids like cutting off while you were stopped and going on electric power or something like that
Yes.
to like
I hate
conserve
that
gas?
shit.
Yeah.
Nowadays all the cars that are new stop at a light, like the engine cuts off and you got to override that because it's
Annoying.
it freaks you out.
Oh, that's all cars do that now?
It's just if they're having a hard
Only
time
have-
getting
only have
it to
old
like
cars.
if they're having a hard time getting the miles per gallon up, then yeah, you get into city driving, the engine just shuts off if it's been stationary for 2 seconds, and then when you hit the gas, it goes boom and goes. And it
It
happens.
can't shut off, right? You can't.
It
turn
does. It's the weirdest thing, man. Like,
Weird.
Go rent a car, like a modern car.
Uh huh.
They all do it, and usually they have an override button because it is so disconcerting when like your car stops. We had one in Italy, and I was like at the toll. The fucking thing stopped, and I'm like, "You can't stop right now. I'm so stressed out. I can't read any of this shit." Like,
So who's buying an electric car?
funny you ask. A lot of people all of a sudden.
I meant in this room. Fuck everybody else.
I mean,
Here.
I would
everybody else.
probably be the first, I would guess, because I'm like, I've got a hard on for him, obviously, after reading all this stuff.
Yeah.
That when I was looking at the Jeep, because that's what I really want, I realized I could buy a used Tesla Model S for less than a Jeep.
Oh, really?
They're about 35 grand to 40 grand for a used one.
Nice.
That's like sweet. And then you get 50 grand
But you
for the
drive
new
a
Jeep.
lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how realistic it would be for me to have one because I do drive long
So
distances.
I don't drive a lot,
But
but
300 miles?
but
That's a lot of
but
range.
I tow my camper with it, so I wouldn't be comfortable with that. Now my
I
wife
wonder what-
drives 2 miles each way to work, so
That's
she's
nice.
had her car for a year and 3 months, and I think we've had one oil change in it. She's been like 3,000 or 4,000 miles.
Wow.
I mean, she doesn't put any miles on it.
Wow.
I wonder what the SUV tows.
The electric ones?
Yeah.
I think they're going to tow a ton.
No, the current ones.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
doubt they have the torque and the power. It's just
They have instant power.
the way
That's what makes it
the
so
way
crazy.
batteries work, though. I mean, the more you're drawing off of it, the quicker they go down. That's just how batteries operate.
Based on what I'm reading, I think we've got 10 years till the combustion engine is basically done. Which I,
don't know
think is
about that.
I know
Yeah,
I'm
I don't think that'll ever happen.
I mean I think it's a bit of a bold statement. I get that. It's my hot take.
You heard it here, folks.
Hot take. I think it's over. Like as I'm reading this, so last year, electric vehicles had an 81% increase in sales in the U.S. 81. The year before that, it was 26% increase. The year before that, it was another like in the 20s. They've been growing at about a 20% clip ever since Tesla came out with the first Model S.
Here's the question.
But even when it's 100%, there will still be people with gasoline engines.
That's the thing. If you really look at it, yes, it went up 81%. It still accounts for like 1% of the cars on the road in the U.S. But the growth, they finally
But
saw
even if
the
every
spike.
car on the road is all electric, there will still be gasoline
Yes.
engines being manufactured.
I mean, look how many of them are out there. I mean, I'll give
That's
you
what I'm
that.
saying.
But all right, so China,
Somebody's going to convert an electric car to a gas car.
that's how Tesla started.
China,
They were buying the Lotus Elise
yeah, I know.
and converting it over. That's what they did for the first, while. China they're the number one buyers of electric cars in the world, like by a long shot. And I just thought it was because the Chinese were like really getting behind it. The government over there is forcing the issue, like completely forcing the issue. They have given ridiculous subsidies to all of the companies that manufacture electric cars there. They're also giving subsidies to the people who buy the electric cars, and they're penalizing people who make gas-powered cars. To the point
Sounds
now
like
that
China.
they just
Sounds
released.
like America.
If you want it, you just push it through, right?
Yeah.
So over there, they actually just passed something where any new car manufacturer that comes in, like you can't come in and build gas without paying just ridiculous fines for producing a gas engine if you're a new factory.
Over the life of an electric vehicle today, is it cleaner than a gas-powered vehicle? Because I've heard conflicting
I
stories.
should know
on
that answer, but I don't.
Not in China because it's coal-powered. That's where they get their electricity is from coal.
Yeah.
So over there, they're not really saving the world, but they're embracing it.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw something. Where was it? Yeah, I had it. Basically,
But most of our power comes from coal.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
So-
Fossil
natural
fuels
gas,
still.
natural gas has climbed a lot. Renewables climbed a little bit, but natural gas and coal are still in 1 and 2.
So if you lived in an area that had wind power or hydropower, then yes, your electric car would be making a difference, assuming where they manufacture it isn't just spewing shit into the, But yeah, if you live in an area where it's renewable energy that's powering your electricity, then yeah, I think so. I mean, it's pretty impressive. The
I'm
growth
not
they're
against
having.
them. That's for sure.
Oh, no. Like, I would have one for a commuting vehicle.
Yeah.
But
You're still asking people to have multiple vehicles, in my opinion.
it's super weird because I'm a horsepower junkie, and it's one of the reasons why I've never liked Jeeps. Like,
They're not fast.
they don't sound good. Like, that's part of the thing. I'm weird like that. I like throaty V8s. Always will. Now, that being said, Teslas roast most vehicles. They're wicked fast.
Oh, yeah.
They absolutely are.
But I don't have much interest in it for that because of the fact that I just like hearing something sound awesome.
Yeah.
And isn't it BMW that they either have a hybrid
They
or something,
put
and they pump
Road
sound
noise.
in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
They actually do that, so it sounds great in there. You're like, oh man, that's a
No,
badass
one of
engine.
them was doing it with their gas-powered cars.
Yeah.
They weren't
No, it's
cool
gas-powered.
enough.
I think that's BMW
BMW,
because they
definitely.
went down to a smaller engine but turbocharged
Which
it.
is what
Yeah.
everybody's doing.
But they
throwing
wanted it
turbos.
to have some balls on it,
Yeah.
so it's like it's not real. It's just doing
That's
it.
hilarious.
And people are like, "That's a great car."
Yeah.
like listen to that. There is no substitute for like a V12. Like you hear a car that has something like that, even just a throaty V8.
That's
will
what I'm saying.
Get you going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have a throaty V8 and it be slower, but I wouldn't mind having a commuter Tesla of some sort, you know?
I
But I'd always have something that had a throaty V8 noise.
Yeah.
So you know what accounted for all those? Remember I said grew 81% plug-in? It's a bit of a misnomer. It's all the Tesla 3.
Oh, really?
The Tesla
Yeah.
3,
Sound like hotcakes.
it outsold the next 10 plug-in vehicles combined.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and not even by like a little. I mean, like by like double.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane when you look
Wow.
at the numbers. So I was like, oh, okay, it's really what happened. So it is a bit of a misnomer because the Tesla Model 3 was the first one that was kind of affordable.
Yeah.
Everyone flocked to it and bought it.
And they had the proof of concept in the bag with the previous.
Yeah, and they have a name.
Yeah.
They have a
I
name.
just wonder what's going to happen to electric rates. as this becomes more prominent. You know, it's not one of those things.
That's a good point.
Society, the way we work, we never.
Capitalism doesn't just
all right,
lose
here's
money.
Exactly. Here's a great example. It's the whole I'm going to go off the grid and get rid of my cable. Well, now, like Verizon and all them are starting to get smart, and they're just going to start charging you a shit ton more for your internet to make up the delta in the cost that they've lost.
Of course.
We've looked into it 2 or 3 times now, like spent hours researching and spent hours on the phone, and it's basically Verizon has it figured out to where it's cheaper for us to keep our cable, our landline, and our internet than just have internet.
I technically have Fios TV in the house because it costs me less to bundle it.
Yeah.
But if
I've
you send the
never plugged it
devices
in.
if you send the devices back, you get the credit for that, though. That's how you save the money.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so in other words, if you have the bundle for whatever it is, all 3 services, but you want to get off the grid, you got to send your devices in. They keep the bundle, but you still save like $70 a month because of all your devices. You're paying for
if you have a lot of
the
devices.
DVR boxes and all that. You send those
Yeah, I've
in.
got one little box that's in a closet somewhere.
Oh, okay. Then you're not saving much.
Yeah. No, I'm not. No, interesting. But I think it's over. Like if I'm looking at all the manufacturers that are coming out with all this stuff. So the Roadster, the Tesla Roadster is coming out this year, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So this year slated to come out, Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, Jaguar, and Audi all have performance, all-electric vehicles coming out to compete directly with the Tesla.
I do know that they're also like Porsche and all of them, like the fastest Nürburgring vehicle, they combine electric and gas, like Formula One vehicles.
Yeah.
So that like at low speed, they're electric and they're fucking hauling ass.
Yeah.
So they're doing a lot of that on that end too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's like still has the gas engine in it though to get to the really ridiculous high speeds.
Yes, absolutely.
Why the electric ones can't get that fast?
Well, they don't have gears.
Yeah, exactly.
They just turn. I mean, there's got to be a point where
Yeah, that's true.
you know because you want to have a gear ratio that it can turn so quick that you get that instant power and go.
Yeah.
But at what point is it revving so fast?
My understanding
you
is
need
it just
something else?
it helps at the low end.
To get from 0 to 60 or
0
80
to
or
100
it's
100
like
no
0 to 10.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that, or 0 to 30, whatever. it is.
Instant
Yeah.
launch.
Yes, and then
There you go.
Yeah, that's my understanding. I heard that Porsche just
Well, because
Porsche just killed it.
something like the
Yeah.
Nürburgring has a ton of turns, and you're literally slowing down
yeah
a lot. So yeah, that's where you're making your time up right there.
exactly.
A few seconds here, a few seconds there, and next thing you know, you're not going to minute off the damn
But
thing.
you're saying there's manufacturers making all electric for public.
Every one of those I just mentioned,
Interesting.
all those luxury car makers
yeah.
are making a sports car that's all electric this year to compete directly with the Roadster.
Interesting.
Because they don't want they don't want that
the
Model 3 to
Roadster's so
take.
expensive, though. I wonder if they're going to be in the same price range.
I think they are. I think that's their whole
Who
move.
the fuck?
They're coming
How
out
expensive
just to
is
say.
the Roadster?
$250,000.
Oh
at
wow!
least.
I'm thinking these are going to be $100,000 cars. Like,
That's fine. I'm fine with
you know,
that. But
I think that's well.
Well,
Even
most
the-
of those you rattled off are top of the line cars anyway, gas powered cars.
so Cadillac just announced and Volvo. This is funny. You know what the number 2 least reliable car in the world is right now? Like if you look at the reports,
General Motors.
it's Cadillac
Oh,
across
really?
the board.
Yeah, same
Trash.
thing.
Like just falls apart. Number 1 least reliable car, Volvo.
yeah,
Shit. They can't.
But they're
Everything keeps
safe.
breaking. So what are both of those companies doing? Volvo has come out and said that they will not release another new car, like a new line or a revamp of an old line that doesn't have an all-electric version when it comes out, starting this year.
Wow.
So Volvo's going all-electric. You know, they're phasing them all out right now. And who right behind them? Cadillac.
Did you look much into the Tesla layoffs?
No, because that just happened, and I wasn't sure. But it has something to do with China, because I think all those subsidies, this is my guess, they're going to carry their ass over there, build a gigafactory, because China is pushing this agenda so hard
Yeah.
that you're not paying shit to build it over there. So China's being smart about that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you put the tariffs to bring it back, it's going to be so much cheaper to build it there.
Right.
So they're pushing it.
Interesting.
But now Cadillac is building a modular system. They're calling it the BEV3 platform. They're coming out with 10 all-electric cars that are all built on the same platform, so everything's interchangeable. Cadillac's going all-electric by 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
Their whole line?
They're phasing everything out to be all-electric. Is
Wow.
what they're doing.
I
And
feel like I'll believe
Volvo's
that when I
doing the
see
same.
it.
Well, they're the two
I'll see
that
it when I
are.
believe it. That's what I'm trying to say.
But that's what they just came out and announced this. Like they dropped the press release. Like we are going to be the leader for GM in the
that's
electric.
not far off.
But if you look at if they have the set, do you want a Cadillac? I mean, they're cool, but they're shit, and they know it. They're like, we're dying on the vine. We have to make a change. So they're going to try to compete with Tesla, and now Volvo, they're taking the other angle. They're like, we're not competing with Tesla. We're trying to save the world. Don't lie to me, Volvo. Your shit's unreliable. You're just trying to make it better because it's safer. If you can slow down and speed up, it's even safer. So it plays into it. But yeah, that's what they're saying. And Volvo, like I said, 19 going.
Do y'all
all
consider
electric.
Volvo a high-end vehicle?
I do.
I do too. I had a friend who had one, and I was like, and it was trash, and I was like, dude, that's what you get. Like,
I view it as like a Volkswagen.
Oh, guess who else is coming out all electric? Because Volkswagen's got issues. They haven't fully committed. Cadillac and Volvo are going to lead the charge and chase Tesla.
just because they start with V.
Doesn't Volkswagen own everybody?
There's whoever that group is, they essentially do.
I think they own Mercedes and
Yeah, it's they're huge, but that brand, so they're taking those brands that are falling apart and just, in particular with Cadillac and Volvo.
not to derail your electric conversation, but did you see that the Supra's coming out?
Yeah, and did you see the first production Model 1 came off and it sold for like $2 million?
And the new GT500 sold for 1.5 or something like that.
Why would the GT500 not sell for less than the damn Supra? The Supra's not the better car.
Well, because the Supra, I don't know, more nostalgia, I guess. Who knows?
Yeah, people are all going nuts.
Oh,
over
the
that
number
Supra.
one Ford GT sold for $2 million or $2.6 million or something.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
which is insane.
Cars, those high-end cars are a great investment if
Yeah.
you got the money.
If you
for
can, if you have the patience to let it sit too.
yeah, for
Yeah,
10, 15 years.
exactly.
Yeah, I'll get off my electric kick, but I'm just like I'm blown away. But there's definitely a revolt coming. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah.
like there's something right now called icing, where all these dudes with like the big old trucks, they're parking across all the Tesla supercharging stations.
That's weird.
So what they've discovered is if you have a tow ring on your Model 3, even if a massive truck's in park, a Model 3 can drag it out, no problem,
That's hilarious.
and then charge it up. But I don't know that you want to drag some giant redneck's truck
yeah.
out of there and then go park your car for an hour while it
I don't
charges.
see why the
you're gonna lose.
rednecks care. That's what I don't get.
yeah, I wonder that all the time about everything.
Yeah,
They
about
can't-
everyone and every
They
facet
can't
of
stand
life.
it. They're like,
Yeah.
you fuckers trying to save the earth, which that's the last reason I'd buy an electric car. I'm not trying to save the earth. I just like the idea of instant power that's fast
Yeah.
and reliability.
Reliability.
Like, that sounds cool. Plus the way they're making them all futuristic inside, like the
Yeah, that is
minimalist
cool.
dash and the giant ass screens. Like that's cool looking.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say, and the reliability factor is pretty dope, but I mean, most of today's car, like, how often do you get in your car and start it and worry about it? Like, you don't, like, 20 years ago, that was like a legit concern. You'd be
Yeah.
like, let's roll the dice here.
Fingers
like,
crossed.
yeah, now it's like, I'm fucking jumping in my car and going. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not worried about it at
Yeah,
all.
you're shocked when you have a problem. You're like,
And then
what?
every year you got to spend $500 at when you got a 12-year-old car. You're like, okay, that's the cost of doing business,
Yeah.
but it's worth it, right?
Yeah. Just based on what I'm seeing, I think it's over. The combustion engine's over. I think we're going electric.
They'll always be.
I think you're right, but don't you think at some point when you go to a gas station, you're going to have the gas pumps and then you're going to have charging stations?
Yeah, I definitely
Where
agree.
you can drop $20 and supercharge it. Because you can get a Tesla to like 80% charge in like 30 minutes if you go to
Really?
one of their superchargers.
That's
yeah, but-
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
It also sounds dangerous.
they're pumping a lot of power into those
Yeah.
things. But that's what you'd pay for, right? Like, if I go home, I can charge it overnight and get a full charge.
But does it cost more or less than a fill up on fuel?
I'm sure they'll start charging, $20
Yeah.
to plug in for 30 minutes.
Exactly.
You start doing that, then they can make their money still.
I feel
It's
like that's the route you go. When that drops below fuel cost, I think a lot of people will jump ship. A lot of people be like,
yeah, there still needs to be more
'Cause people are
infrastructure
funny.
and different things.
people are really funny about the cost of fuel. Like, people flip shit when it goes up and down. And I remember as a kid, like, I say as a kid, when I first started driving, like, gas was $1 a gallon. But, like, I would do this, and a lot of people drive, like, out of the way to save 3 cents a gallon. And now looking back, I'm like, that was stupid. I'm saving 30 cents. I'm
'cause you're
saving
putting
60
in 10
cents.
gallons.
Like,
Yeah.
but like if gas is $3 a gallon or whatever, and you're telling me I can charge my electric vehicle for half of that or 3/4 of that, like
That changes the game.
That could be a huge game changer, right? Like instead of $40 to fill up, you're telling me it's 20 or 25. Like, okay, now you've piqued my interest. Let me hear your argument.
And there's tons of incentives, federal incentive, all those incentives.
They're starting to pull those back.
Oh, really?
It was $7,500 if you bought an electric vehicle. They're doing away with it because they've hit a threshold that was only for like the first 200,000 of the vehicle.
The
that
biggest
sold.
I
incentive-
can't see that. They're going to renew it. I bet you money.
I hope so.
The biggest incentive is you get to brag about how you're a hero on social media and get all those
Or maybe
points.
you are a hero.
Damn right. I'm just going to put my I voted stickers every time across the
Exactly, yeah,
bumper
yeah.
until I've got the perfect social media view.
Like a football player's helmet.
That's right. Yeah. I voted.
Are those,
I voted.
Are those
I voted.
Buckeyes? No.
Yeah,
I voted stickers.
exactly.
I didn't know if you noticed, but I'm quite the white knight.
I can barely see your coexist sticker thanks to all those I voted ones.
Exactly.
That's it. I'm a rainbow-colored Tesla. I'm going to be saving the world.
Nailed
I
it.
You
bet.
would.
You got a deli here
I
by
did,
chance?
man. I went and got the deli, and it jumped out at me because it's an IPA, and I think it might be a deli.
But you've never tasted it.
Never had it, but
I like
packaging,
that bold
the
statement.
packaging made it look like it has a shot in hell.
Let's see it.
Interesting.
Let's see it. This is, I saw what you walked in here with. This is the Lagunitas Daytime. And this is the next category to come out because
A crisp, low-cal, low-alcohol IPA.
It's the
this
Michelob Ultra of
90,
IPAs?
yeah,
Dude,
98 calories, 4% ABV.
Interesting.
how crazy
I
is
was
that?
looking for the what's the other?
The carbs.
No, not the carbs. What's the
Score.
for
Hops.
No, the IBUs.
Yeah, IBUs.
Well, this will be interesting because I was reading about Dogfish Head. They're using something called monk fruit, which is like a substitute for sugar. It's really, really sweet. And they say that they have come out with a way to use monk fruit to replace the sugars that are in beer. And they've created a 96 calorie. It's got 0.9 grams more carbs than a Michelob Ultra.
Wow.
But they say it tastes like
This
a
is
really
3
good
grams of
IPA.
carbs.
3 grams, so it's even lower than the one
Yeah.
that's coming out. Well, this is interesting because this is
The box says, the beer in your hand has achieved what we all hope for ourselves, to be made new again. There's freedom in burning down the house of expectations, and it confers an undeniable lightness to being. We didn't invent these truths, they invented us. At 4% ABV and only 98 calories, Daytime IPA represents everything we know about making hop-forward beer expressed in a Soto voice.
I don't
Makes
know what
sense.
I don't know what that last word was.
Yeah.
You came up with. What voice?
SOTTO.
Frodo's brother.
Oh yeah, that is the Soto, the less famous one. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's got a weird look. It's got a nail bent on it.
I know what is that. It's very interesting, but this is the next thing that's coming. Now that Michelob Ultra is the only beer that's like still growing as far as its sales. I think
really?
they had like 30% growth last year again. And they've been doing this forever because people are getting so health conscious and beer is just not a healthy drink. So people love the ultras. Well, now all the IPA, at least the big time IPA guys are starting to there's going to be a rush on the market with these low cal, low carb IPAs. The first one to make it taste great will dominate. And that's what Dogfish had said they had, but it looks like Lagunitas has beat them to market.
But I feel like the trick is, if you make a good tasting IPA, you don't really have an IPA.
I get it.
No, I'm not trying
true.
to knock them. I'm saying the whole point of
Less
an IPA
people are gonna
is
like it.
It's full of fucking crazy hops. Like,
Yeah, wait
so
till
what's the point?
Have you had a chance
It's like
to
a
get in
hipster
there?
band playing
yeah.
a song that makes it on the radio.
Yeah, a hipster band playing whatever Cool New Beaver song is, like covering it. Like, it doesn't really.
They don't want to hear that shit.
I have not sipped it yet.
You should get in there because this is interesting. That first sip is different than the second sip. That's for sure.
The first sip is very hoppy and flavorful, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, that's an IPA.
No doubt.
If somebody pours that in a glass and gives it to you, you know that's an IPA off the jump.
I'm interested to hear about your second and third sip.
It gets lighter.
It gets really light.
Definitely getting smoother.
Like
with
to
each
the
sip.
point that it's a kind of a light beer all of a sudden. But that first sip is like punches you in the mouth with hops. And the second sip is like a little bit of hops, and then it's just a light beer.
Very much so. It still has the hops. It's not going away completely.
Yeah, no, I actually had this beer this weekend. Someone brought it over, so this is my second time having one now. And it's funny, when I first had it, I was like, I don't know what I would rank this, and now I'm forced.
Now you're forced
to rank it. So here we are, and I don't know what to make.
I want to say this is like $10 or $11 for the 6-pack. So I mean, it's not over the top expensive.
All right, I'm starting to piece it together. It is it's hop forward. That first sip,
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of hop there. For something as light as it is, it still manages to have a lingering aftertaste, which is really odd because I can't even really taste the hops now that I'm on like my fourth sip, but it still lingers. So I have that taste in my mouth, which is probably a bad indication of where Ely will settle on this because it's still very much there.
Because that's what I'm looking forward to in an IPA is that funk to be out of your mouth.
That's how I know a really good one. This is funny. What I think this is a bad version of Sam 76.
Was that an IPA?
No, but it had that hop profile on the front.
Uh-huh.
But then the way it smoothed out was better. But I think it's probably not in the same ballpark as far as calories and all that shit. This is really light. I would give this a middle of the road 2.5. I'm not sold any one direction. It's got the hop flavor, which I like, but then the fact that it goes so light, it loses some of that hop profile, except it's still giving me a bit of a shitty aftertaste, and I think that's what I don't like. So if you want a light beer and you're a hophead, you're probably going to like this beer because it does have some of it, but in the end, it's not a great beer. It's a 2.5. But in the same way that Michelob Ultra is not a great beer, or Coors Light's not a great beer. I mean,
the more I drink of this, the more I like it. I think this is a good beer. This isn't an above average. This isn't something to write home about and brag about. But I'll give this a 3. If you're not a hophead and you want to play in the IPA game, this is where you need to be. And I'd recommend this because I think even the hopheads, there's enough in there to get them involved too. I think this is a pretty good.
so you dig it.
It's not awful. It's not bad or good. It's, like you said, it's the middle of the road. But I do like it, so I could have another one of these.
So it's coming up into the 3 range.
I'll give it a 3 because I would drink this. I would drink another one of these.
Well, yeah, and I will. I'm just saying I don't think it's good enough to tip the scale. I just say it's middle of the road. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it still tastes like an IPA to me. It's not light enough to be awesome. It's just
not light enough.
Well, I can't say light enough. It doesn't.
Doesn't smooth out enough.
I can't get past the hop.
It's still hot.
It's too hoppy.
Yeah, but without all the other things that I would want in an IPA. So
Yeah, there's no other flavors in there masking it at all. It's just hoppy.
That's true.
So
it's a light beer. It's almost like they took hop flavoring and dumped it into a light beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes they do try to mask the hops with a citrus or another.
Which can make for a better all-around beer. And this is just hop on light beer.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. It's a Miller Lite with hops in it.
Yeah.
I give it a 2.5.
So you don't hate it.
No, I don't hate it.
It's just not a deli.
I appreciate it for what it is. But
It's
I
drinkable.
I would prefer not to drink this.
Yeah. I think I'd rather have a real IPA or a Coors Light.
Yeah.
Or a Sam 76, damn
I had
it.
a delicious Hefeweizen the other day down in Charlotte. We did a tour, my work, of the old Mecklenburg Brewery or something like that.
Okay.
But they like hang their hat on no IPAs. They like make it with the 4 ingredients the way it was always made.
Yeah.
back in
The
Germany.
old German standard.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
And they were raving about their Hefeweizen. And it's funny, like I've been on the eating clean diet, trying to be money, and as soon as the dude was like, our Hefeweizen's amazing, I was like, this shit's going, dude. Yeah.
Today's the day.
Wagon
I'm off
For
the wagon.
sure.
off.
Yeah. Jumped right off the back.
Yep.
Pick you up on Tuesday.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would rather have one of those.
Yeah, last week, man, I wish you had been here. We had a Hefeweizen that it was called Red Dawn. And it was a
Really?
red Hefeweizen.
I've had a red Hefeweizen at Capital Ale.
Don't
and
we
it
have
was
an extra
fucking
one down
amazing.
here?
This one was
Don't we have an
shit.
extra one?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You should have told him we have an extra one, don't we?
I don't need it.
We may. It was just funny because I was like, well, we know Ely'd give this one a high score, so let's have it when he's not here. And I was just
Tried
like,
it and
this
it
is
just
trash.
sucked. How
it
does
was
a
bad.
Hefeweizen suck? What's wrong with it?
You wouldn't have recognized it as a Hefeweizen.
Oh, really?
They called it a red wheat ale or whatever, and it was shit.
Okay.
It was bad. And this past weekend, I had a 12-pack from a place called Lancaster Brewing Company, and I sat out here with my buddy, and we went through it bit by bit.
We don't have one.
We had to pour out 2 of the 4 that were in there.
What's
Wow.
a
They
sampler
were
pack
that-
or something?
Yeah, they were that bad. And the
Jeez.
other 2 we choked down just because it was washing the taste of shit out of our mouth.
Yeah. yeah.
Wow.
It was awful.
Either one of you want this?
No, I'm good. I can't not recommend Lancaster Brewing enough. It was to the point that I'm like, we don't even need to do this one on the air.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just make it a point to shit on them quickly.
Yeah.
Say, trust me on this. It's bad. No one wants that trash.
For sure.
It was not a tasty treat, man. It was not good.
No.
Not
Yeah,
good.
It was a good thing that you weren't here.
Yeah. It was like a Gillette ad. It just
Yeah, have y'all gotten to see
necessarily.
it? You saw it. You brought it up.
Yeah, their new toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Is that the most offensive term? Like there's all these terms that have been coming out of all that, but toxic masculinity upsets me. Most of them I let slide, but I'm like, come on, what do you mean toxic masculinity?
As a man and a dad, it really cuts me to the quick.
Cuts
like,
me deep.
I do
Cuts me
not
deep.
like it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where it's all gone so wrong so quickly, but
well, being a man's fucked. Don't be a man. In fact, stop. There, I fixed it.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is that we have gotten to a place in our culture, in our society, where people are so comfortable with the idea that nothing will go wrong. So they think that
in America,
just in life, they don't think that, the idea that, well, you needed men to take Iwo Jima. You needed men to
Oh, I
do this. The
gotcha.
idea that stuff
Like there may
gonna
not be a
happen again.
conflict that would require men being men.
Right, exactly. Like
gotcha.
we're beyond that, and we all are safe. And that
Well, and
those
if the entire
things can't
world
happen.
is, that would be okay. If the entire world
Right,
got
exactly.
beyond that, you wouldn't need
And
that.
that's the biggest thing that people don't understand, and it's a really good argument I heard a long time ago about why pacifism is utter horseshit, and it's that other people aren't all pacifists.
yeah,
At the end of the day, all that means is that you're going to be taken advantage of by someone
Definitely.
that's not a pacifist
yeah.
every time.
But isn't the hope that people will see that pacifism and realize the error of their ways and become pacifists? I mean, isn't that the dream?
That's the
of
hope,
pacifism?
but
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
have
I
to
would
be
think that
realistic.
intelligent people can look beyond that dream. Like you need to be able to recognize the idea that you're wishing for something that is just not the way the world is.
No, it's funny. I'm oversimplifying this completely, but pacifism oftentimes is like, just take it, like take the abuse.
Yeah,
There's something to be said for leaving
Yeah.
where the abuse is. Like that's still very pacifist. But
Well-
if you leave, then you're not going to be harmed. I don't understand just allowing yourself to be harmed to try to become a martyr.
Yeah.
Like just leave.
right.
Just go away, and then they can't hurt you. I mean, I know it's oversimplifying.
Well, I would
but-
say a lot of the toxic masculinity, like a lot of these people, they are pacifists. Like, I'm not looking for a fight, like, but I'm not also gonna be pushed over.
so
I
is-
mean,
If you don't understand or know that to make the most amazing adult, you need part of I guess what would you call toxic masculinity?
Yes.
And I'm not just saying for men. Women need it too.
Yeah.
So what makes the best
And
adult
I'm not saying it has to be a dude.
right.
Really,
what
honestly.
What makes the best adult is equal input from a mother and a father.
Yes.
To where those now obviously everybody has to say this. I'm not talking about all people, but for the most part, women tend to be more nurturing, more emotional, and men tend to be more toxic masculine or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't stand that term.
But being able to have an individual that has equal
It's the
parts
yin
of
and
that,
the yang.
absolutely. That's what makes the best adult, hands
Yes.
down. And if you
Yes.
can't acknowledge that or understand that, then something's wrong with you. In my
Yeah,
perspective.
you need to know when to be aggressive.
Yeah, you need to have
and
that.
when to be understanding and coddling, for lack of a better term.
Yes.
Like,
Well,
that's
there's
important.
times there's times a family you go through where it's like you look to the dad,
You better have a backbone.
and that dad better not be in the fetal position in the corner crying because that family's looking for that
But
that
is-
person.
Is
to be the
toxic
rock.
masculinity like if someone kicks in your door and then you kill them? Is that toxic masculinity? Like I don't understand where the line
It's a
is.
horseshit word. I mean,
Yeah, the whole thing's not
That's
even
what
real.
bothers
Yeah.
me. I don't
I
understand.
think toxic masculinity is just derived from the idea of the Me Too movement, from boys being boys, like the commercial said.
Oh
Of
God,
what,
that's the worst.
but
it
that's
is.
what
Boys will be boys
Are gonna be
is the
boys. You
worst
are
thing.
going to fuck with each other.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pick on you because I like you.
Yeah.
because
That's what we do.
But is that toxic masculinity? Like, is that a trait of it? I'm
According-
trying to wrap my head
according-
around.
according-
I mean,
to them.
did you read the APA thing by any chance? Like
No.
the American Psychiatric Association, their whole study. That's kind of were both released around the same time. The Gillette ad and the APA, their new guidelines for boys.
I'm not familiar with them.
You should read them sometime if you
I've
can.
heard like blurbs,
Yeah.
but I have not read it.
It's like it's totally it's 30-some pages, but there's a ton of citations, so it's really only like 15 pages of basically, and it's just really, I don't know. I thought it was horrible personally because it never mentions anything that's good about it.
Yeah.
So
like no good ever comes from being a male.
And if you haven't read, I posted it, and we can post it if you want to. But like Jocko's response to the whole thing was amazing.
Yeah.
About how you really need those traits. Those traits are important for many reasons in
Oh,
the
yeah.
workplace, and just to be a certain type of adult again that has both pieces of it.
Yeah.
And knowing when you're becoming the cocksucker that people don't want you to be. Or
Yeah.
But we
when
all
you're
agree
going
there
over
are
the line.
cocksuckers, right?
Absolutely.
And
Like,
there
a
always will
motherfucker-
be.
Yeah.
A dude that comes in here and punches me in the face unprovoked, I assume that's toxic masculinity, probably an extreme of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But like that dude's an asshole.
Right.
So well, hashtag
sure.
you're an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think that should be.
But again, I mean, I love turning to the old "A Few Good Men" speech when this happens. You know what I mean? When he's like, "You want me on that wall?
Yeah.
You need me on that wall."
Yeah.
that shit. Because that's true.
That
There's
is
people
true.
That we love living under this blanket, and subconsciously, where all these people, don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
They love having straight up testosterone protecting them.
Yeah.
And
And
if
not
it-
just protecting them, building bridges, building skyscrapers,
Yeah.
like doing
But you
the
can
work.
be that kind of aggressor in the moment of need without being a sack of shit.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt.
And that's the better person I want. I want someone who can flip the
Well,
switch in the moment.
And that's what Ely's talking about. That's why you need the woman. The yang
Yeah.
to your yang.
That's
So the
absolutely
problem is
right.
when you flip the switch,
yeah.
essentially. And I think, I don't know.
And I mean,
Kids-
we could talk, like, a case could be made too for, like, women really do want masculine
Oh,
men.
for sure.
I mean, we're all talking about this shit, and all the people that wrote these stupid things, all their wives want to go see Jason Momoa in The Rock in movies, right?
Oh,
Oh, my
yeah.
God. All
Yeah.
the women want
All
to
of
see
them
Jason
do.
Momoa.
And it's
They
not because
fucking
he's a
love him.
fucking fragile soy boy,
No,
is
no,
it?
no. It's because he
No.
can knit. Have you
Right.
seen the knitting he does? Amazing.
So that's,
We got a Jason Momoa potholder he made us. It's fantastic.
it's just one of those things. There's just so many unpleasant things about our life that we don't like.
Speaking of Jason
to accept.
Momoa, another tangent out of this is, and I've heard other people bring it up, like men get shit on for what we want of our women, right? Like we want this perfect Barbie that's not even attainable. You're telling me like women don't want The Rock and Jason Momoa? Like
Apparently my wife does.
There's male versions of these guys like that. We're not ever getting to that level, so they're just as guilty as for that as we are for.
Yeah, women want that unattainable masculine man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's going around idolizing how bad or talking about how bad they want to fuck Bill Gates.
Yeah.
It's just not happening.
Yeah.
Like, he's a great dude, but that's not the fantasy
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
That's just not how that works. There's certain masculine traits that Jason Momoa happens to have
Yeah.
that get women pretty damn excited.
Do you know he was married to Lisa Bonet?
I did not know that.
I didn't know it either. I mentioned
That's wild.
I went and saw the Aquaman movie with the boys last week during a snow day, and I was telling the wife about it, and she was like, "Who's in it?" I was like, "Oh, that Jason Momoa guy that all the women
Yeah.
love." And she's like, "Oh, Lisa Bonet's husband?" I was like, "I don't think so." And she's like, Googles it, and
Sure enough.
sure enough, and I was like, "That dude's selling himself
He
short."
seems super cool. Have you seen the pictures he takes with his fans where he
Yeah.
pushes the husband out of the picture and shit?
Yeah, I have seen some of that.
Yeah.
You know what, though, in her defense, she did all those years, like, working alongside Cosby. She needs a man like
Yeah.
Jason Momoa to kill the Cosbys of the world.
Well, she's the story is he like because she's older than he is, like he had a crush on her back in those days.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
So I do want to say one thing about that APA. So the APA thing, their guidelines, it is. Look, I do think that it is important because it's been an important thing for guys to shut themselves out emotionally, which can have a benefit. There's a good reason, and it's not shutting yourself out; it's knowing when to show. Your
Yeah,
emotions.
you got to know. You got to purge it at some point.
But so their goal of trying to be able to reel masculine men in and get them to be able to talk more is a good thing. I get that.
That is a good thing.
But to be able to make that report without discussing the positives of masculinity means that you did a bad job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Well, where do you stand on Gillette doing this? The best a man can get. These are the guys that plaster Gillette all over chicks' asses.
Yeah.
And send them out to monster truck pulls and like
Exactly,
I've
yeah.
seen Gillette
That's the funny part to me is like
across
the
women's
hypocrisy,
breasts. Like
yeah.
I'm like, what? You scumbags! Like you and Budweiser have been on everybody.
Well, to me, the whole thing is silly just because, first off, men buy your product. And your motto is the best a man can get. So you're cutting out 50% of the people right there because you don't deal with women mostly.
But the thing is so if you followed this video much on Twitter or anywhere and you watched it, I mean, half of the people or half of the men think it's a great ad. So it's not.
But do you think the other half are going to walk away from Gillette?
Because
They're
what
gonna-
I'm saying is that they don't. There's people that don't see anything wrong with what they did because they just see, and I've gotten in several discussions online about this with people that I know that are great people, and they just legitimately don't see it that way. They see it as they're just trying to bring light to.
I just
behaviors
thought
that
the
are
ad
bad.
was laughable. Like I've never seen any of the scenarios in that happen
I think
in real
it's-
life. Like
I'm
there's
more-
two boys wrestling on the ground at a barbecue.
But you know what? I'd go
What?
break that up if the two kids.
Exactly.
I would always go break that up.
Yeah.
I don't want the kids beating the shit out of each
Yeah.
other while I'm trying to have drinks and hang out with my friends. Like, I don't need you guys. And I see this all the time at our functions.
Yeah.
The kids start fighting or throwing rocks. What do? Stop throwing fucking rocks.
Yeah.
Don't punch each other in the
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
You're allowed to, like, argue with
We
each
don't
other.
huddle up.
But the flip side is that
brutal.
that conflict molds people, though. You know, that's part of the reason why we have so many issues with Gen X and
Well, that's why my
millennials.
boys, without any provocation, every night they get to poking at each other. Next thing you know, they're rolling around on the floor.
I do that with my girls, too.
Exactly.
They fight, and I'm
Yeah,
like, hey,
absolutely.
you can't
And then
get
it
to
gets
this
to a
point.
level, and I go, knock it off. You can't.
Yeah.
You're
can't
being
hurt
a
each other.
dumbass.
Yeah.
So technically, what Gillette was showing, there's nothing wrong with it. It's that they hooked their star to the damn phrase "toxic masculinity." That's what I
Yeah.
think
But
has
there's
people
just
in
many
arms.
things in the ad, like the guy's trying to go after a girl to talk to her, and the guy stops him. Like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with talking to a girl?
Yeah.
Like, are we supposed to
I haven't
insinuate
seen
that
that
he was
part of
going
it
to assault her and he stopped him?
Yeah,
He's
good-looking
just going
girl
to
walks
talk
by,
to the chick.
and,
Right.
and
Is that literally the guy was just
Yeah.
going to go talk to
Yeah,
her?
he was like, oh, like he was eye fucking the girl. She walked by, and he went to go walk after her, and his buddy's like, no, man, that's not cool.
and you don't know if it's his buddy. Could have been a
Yeah,
rando
yeah,
dude.
exactly,
He's just
right.
like, hey man, no, like not cool. Like don't approach the attractive young lady.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
yeah, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, it's
So I think it was a stroke of genius.
as far as their marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
Oh,
needed
because
it.
everybody's talking about him. And no,
I think
Well,
it
they
was
were in the dumper.
brilliant. Yeah. So I actually
because they were getting their ass handed to them by Dollar
Harry's.
Shave Club.
it is.
and
Yeah,
Harry's.
they're losing, and they have a really bad look right now because everyone realizes that the whole industry of shaving has been gouging us.
Oh, wait a minute. They're shifting
Forever.
to women is what they're doing.
They're shifting a little, but at the same time, the marketing guy who released it, when the shit first hit the fan, and they interviewed him, they're like, "So, what do you think about all this?" And he said, "I think it's great." And they're like, "Great, you've got people boycotting, and there's hashtags, getting rid of Gillette, and like I will never be a Gillette guy again." And he's like, "It's perfect." And they're like, "How can you think this way?" And it's because in his mind, it was never really to be about the movement.
No.
He didn't want to embrace the movement. He wanted to latch on to the conversation so that his name got put in there. That
I don't know that I
Gillette,
agree with that. Somebody in the company had to agree with the movement.
on some level, they're like, there's a movement happening about men. We
Well, the
should at
thing
least
about the
talk
movement
about it.
is-
We should do it. It's the same thing that Nike did when they came out
Yeah.
with those Kaepernick ads. And then all
But
of a sudden,
you're making it sound like they may not agree with it. They're just getting on the train, and I don't know that
the
that's true.
quote from the guy was good press or bad press, however people feel, it's what I wanted. Like that's I'm
of course it
paraphrasing.
Well, that movement, the whole point of that movement is if you're on that side of it, you cannot be wrong. The people that say you're wrong are the wrong
The
ones.
marketing guy's not going to
Yeah.
tell you he made a mistake or that they don't believe.
But he
that
knew
they
what
believe
was
in
coming.
that.
He knew that if he released
For
that,
sure he knew it.
he was going to get all this negative
Absolutely.
and all this positive,
Yes.
and there was going to be a battleground, and it was going to involve his brand.
Yeah, but my point is that he could have chosen the other side.
He could have,
And been
but
in-
that's a
still
bad
been in.
move.
It's still been in this. Yeah, but it's same exact argument.
I'll take the chorus, Troy. Yeah, but he knew what he was saying. When Nike came out with those Kaepernick ads, their stock went up like 80%, despite all those people saying they were going to boycott and everybody saying screw
Has
this.
it come back down? Has it leveled
It
out?
has, but it hasn't leveled out to the point that it was lower than before they did it.
Yeah.
And he was looking at this as a case study that Nike decided to be controversial, jump in the pit, get beat up, take their beating, but allow the name recognition to allow it to lift up on both sides because there's psychos
Do you
on
see
either
value
end.
there as a marketing person?
I do.
Really?
Because you got to remember that it's the fringe that are screaming. And the fringe represents 10% on either side.
Yep.
So you're fighting for that 80% market share. Now you got people talking. And that's
I don't know
all
that I
he's-
agree. I mean,
I feel like plus 10%.
That's
isn't-
the logic, though,
Yeah.
behind it, is you get the conversation going. At least your name's the one that's out there. Now you can steer the conversation back to something else.
no, you can't.
You
Not
can't run
today.
that back.
Not today. But now you can bring out other products, you do other things, and at least people take note, oh, it's Gillette, for good or bad.
Yeah, but for whatever side you're on of any of those ideas, you've lost a ton of customers that you wouldn't have lost.
You have lost some. There's no doubt. And you've gained others.
I'd like to know where
But I'm saying, I think
Harry's.
the faction is way more than the 10% that you're talking about.
Then call it 20% on
moms and-
either end.
I think there's a big swath in the middle that just don't say a word, but they're bothered by it. It's the same reason why Trump got elected.
yeah.
No one says shit, but deep down in their belly, they vote with their feet, and they buy with their feet.
Yeah, and we'll see how it shakes out. But
But I'd like to
take,
know where Harry's and Dollar Shave Club are at like their sales. Have
they've
they
actually
jumped up?
kind of embraced it the other way.
No, I'm saying have
They've
they
been like,
jumped
we
up?
make products for men.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the attitude.
Well, that could be that's what my
They've
point
taken-
was maybe that's Gillette trying to
Shift.
push the female sales.
And maybe they
seeing
will.
that Harry's has that men market in Walmart and everywhere.
You know
Gillette
what?
does have that
Because you
female
may have,
market
and
already.
maybe that's the angle, right? You've already lost so much.
Yeah.
Because men have realized you've been fucking me for way too long. I'm getting a cheaper
Well, women
razor.
been getting screwed too because I'm pretty sure Gillette and those big brands make a woman's version. It's all the same fucking razor. It
No, I think
shaves
they have
hair.
some of the fancy ones though.
I
for
know,
the
but
women.
but it's still
They
the
do.
same. It's still a razor that cuts hair off of
Yeah.
a part of your body, and that's where, like, to me, Dollar Shave Club's genius because they're neither here nor there, and they're just making a decent product for an affordable price. They're not saying the best a man can get.
No,
They're
and
not
Dollar
saying,
Shave Club has never
this
steered
isn't
clear of
for
women.
a woman. Yeah,
they
like,
show women using it too.
yeah.
Like,
My
they've
wife
never
and I
said
both
men.
use Dollar Shave Club.
And it could
Like,
be
So same at our house.
Yeah.
Our house, my wife uses a Dollar. In fact, today she said, "Hey, can you get me a new handle? Mine
Yep.
broke."
Yep.
And I was like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll just have it on the next order."
Yeah.
Because we both used the product.
yeah,
Because they didn't pick a side. They just said, "Hey, you're paying too much to shave, dummy."
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, dummy, that is me and
Yeah,
my
yeah.
wife. We're paying too much."
Yeah.
And you
Maybe
really
you're right.
were.
Maybe
Holy
they're
shit.
shifting back. But as far as Gillette was concerned, that guy who put it out, he'd never made a statement about, "I believe in this." All he said was the objective was get people talking. Now we're here.
That's all marketing. That's all marketing.
That
right?
was his objective. Now we'll see if it works. It worked extremely well for Nike, but Nike was in a slightly different place. You know what I mean? Like the majority of their audience probably is receptive to Colin Kaepernick. It's not.
I have a hard time believing that it worked for Nike. I just do.
Well, and
I
Worked
Nike was
exceptionally well.
Nike
I
was
don't believe that. I don't know why I don't believe that, but I just don't.
I mean, the numbers say it did. Now we'll see if in the long
Yeah, but
term it
there's-
doesn't. But
Yeah. There's tons of reasons why that could have happened. I just can't see like thousands of football fans that are pro-American and don't like what Kaepernick did that aren't buying shoes for their grandkids or themselves because they're specifically hard-headed and going to another brand, not hurting them. I just can't see that. And I don't see it as being some small percentage of people that are, I mean, that's why NFL's numbers are down, right?
Well, on the other side of
Because
that
of
coin
NFL's
is
numbers
like
are
that.
up this year.
the
big
other
time.
side of that coin is I don't see people not buying Nikes being like, now I will buy Nikes. Like,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. It's not like,
yeah.
oh, thank God, now that you put this ad out, I'm
Yeah.
finally going to buy a pair.
Yeah.
People
I
were
finally
already
believe.
buying
Like to me, Nike was
Yeah.
already the top brand
Exactly.
in that game anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they took an educated guess, and it, from what we've seen, yours just went out.
Awesome.
From what we've seen, it went well for them thus far. So we shall see. But I don't know how this is going to work for Gillette. I think that was a bold move, unless they're going to get rid of the best a man can get. Like, what if it was
they
all,
should have done that
And
10,
that could
15
be
years
it, too.
ago.
What if
like,
it's all
that's
part of
our
that?
motto. They're
Yeah.
leaning on the best a man can get, and that's why they're trying to comment on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, remember, what was it? True Value, you're a helpful hardware man, and
Yeah.
now it's like you're a helpful hardware person.
Right.
Like, the
Yeah.
jingle doesn't even sound right, but we all know what it is. And I'm like, yeah, good for you. Like, you fixed it, I guess. It never sounds right in my ear, but maybe Gillette's going there. It's like the best you can get.
A lot of the
Yeah.
stuff,
Period.
too, is predicated on the idea, and those the APAs were very much this way, that just everything is biological, like all of gender. Like there's no difference in us at all. It's all things that are made up outside.
And that's not accurate.
Yeah, at all. And it's hard. You know, when you hear things like that, it's hard to take the rest of what you write seriously.
Yeah.
If that's what your entire premise is, you know.
Well, that whole thing, all universities and all these papers have been coming out. I mean, that's been proven that is.
Yeah. Well,
All
just
coming
ask,
from
ask
one-
anyone that works at a daycare, if kids are different or if they learn it that way.
Yeah.
They'll tell you right away the way the difference in
We were
boys
at
play
we
and
were
the way
at
the
Target
girls
today. My
play.
kids
Absolutely.
had Target gift cards, so we were at Target and they could buy whatever toy or whatever they wanted. And we were walking up and down the aisles, and my little one was we walked down the doll aisle. I was like, "You want one of these dolls?" He's like, "No," and that's not because I
Been
told
beating him when he grabbed dolls his
Yeah,
whole life.
exactly. Yeah, it's like, no, dude, I want the Beyblade spinny top thing. Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm here for. Like,
Right.
But it doesn't always hold. You know what my daughter wanted for her birthday? The bow and arrow. You know what
Nice.
she's been doing today? Killing shit.
yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
just what she wanted. I didn't ingrain
But to
that
me, that's
either
not
way
weird either. Yeah, like that's not.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is we've got to this point where it's like these differences in us are bad. And
I don't know that
I don't
they
get
are.
it. No.
No, they're not.
Kind of glad to have them.
Absolutely.
I always go back to nature. Like, if you put our constructs on and try to in nature, you'd be like, that shit's not gonna fly. Like, oh, that male lion needs to act this way, and the female lion should act like. No, they're gonna do their thing, and
Yeah.
that's how it's gonna work. Like,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
and we're okay with that, and all the left's okay with that. But you say it with humans, it's like whoa, 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 whoa.
In a
Like,
very general sense, the best relationship is someone that fills in your deficiencies and you fill in
Absolutely.
their deficiencies
Yes.
so that you are one better team.
Yeah.
And I think that was the difference between men and women for the longest time. And then you find the ones that fill out the other gaps. Like my
Yeah.
wife and I, are very different.
Yeah.
And she's actually more aggressive in certain respects than I am.
Yeah.
And I'm actually
Yeah, she's
a little,
manlier than you in a lot of ways.
in some ways, and fuck you, but in some ways,
But I'm right.
There is some. Well, she's just the aggressor in a conversation more
Yeah.
often than I will be.
Yeah.
And I'm more often to be like, hold on, let's take a breath.
You're the peaceful one.
Let's think about this.
Yeah.
But that's not bad.
No.
It's
And
because
it's not,
I had it. Yeah, I'm
it's
not,
not
a.
sex based either.
Yeah. But there are other things like she's like, can you help me with this jar? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm stronger. That's one of those things
Yeah.
that just I fill the gap because of gender, honestly.
Yeah.
But in other respects, she has some manly tendencies that actually make me a better person, and I have a little more of that. Like, hold on, I can get us
Yeah.
through this. Let me breathe for us.
Yeah.
Walk us through. Stay calm, and that helped. That those differences were there, and we're a better unit because of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
I'm with
okay.
I'm with you.
It's okay, and I'm glad she's different. Because if the two of us were just sitting around fucking eating chips all day playing Nintendo,
Yeah.
that's not a great team.
No, I mean, and I would say all of our relationships are that way and are healthier for it. Like,
Yeah, in some respects, we have these things where you fill in the gap.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's not.
I just don't think.
And another thing is, I also think that the lion's share of people understand what we're saying.
Yes.
It's just there's this weird polarization driven through the media going on where it's just making things even crazier in all ways. So
I agree. Well, we'll see where Gillette nets out. I'm interested to see what
Yeah,
comes
I am
of it.
too.
I really am. I'll be driving in my electric
Well,
car.
it's hard to say because they were probably trending downward anyway. Like,
there's no
100%.
way right now that they're not up. There's no way
Yes,
that they're not
yeah.
up. They're going to be up, but what are they going to be in a year? You
or
know, that's-
5 years.
That's what's to be seen.
Right.
That's what's to be
Exactly.
seen. And how they pivot from here. But the guy got what he wanted. The conversation's there. Their name is everywhere.
I mean,
Now,
I
what he
remember
does with
before
it, this
Dollar
is where
Shave
he'll-
Club going to the fucking CVS and having to get the fucking key to unlock the goddamn thing.
Honestly,
because
that
it's like,
bothered
Oh,
me
yeah.
more than the
you're
money.
like
For
you're
sure.
paying $5-6 a blade to shave.
It's
like,
legitimately the one thing in CVS that was locked.
yeah.
Everything,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Unbelievable. That and Sudafed.
Right.
Those are the
And
two
then-
things they lock
And then
off.
Dollar Shave Club comes out, and you're like, and then Harry's and other, and you're like, hold on, what? I can, like, you're really,
these aren't weapons. I can just get them sent to
Right.
me. No one has to sign.
you're talking
what the fuck?
pennies on the dollar. Like, I mean,
It's crazy.
ridiculously cheap. Like, and the product is not. It's not like there's a huge chasm between one or the other. Like they both do the same job.
No, they both do an all right job.
Yeah,
Neither one of them were fucking amazing.
yeah.
Unless you get that high end Dollar Shave. You ever get the?
No, I haven't done that.
They sent me one once. Those bastards.
The
They're like,
6-blade one.
oh shit! I was like, this is so much better. But I'm still not giving you $4 more.
Yeah,
Go screw. Like I'm out.
yeah. I've already acclimated to the.
Yeah, my face is toughened up.
Right.
Of
Well,
course,
that's true too. I found that it really doesn't matter what you use if you acclimate.
it just
once
takes a
you
little
use-
time.
Yeah, once you get used to using whatever product. it
if
doesn't
you don't
matter.
shave for a while and then shave, it's gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah.
If you shave every other day, it's not gonna hurt.
Nope.
It's just how it is. We'll see how it shakes
It's
out.
weird because I'm curious to see with having 2 young boys. You know, it's something that worries me because I just worry that no matter how I raise them, they're going to have targets on them for being dudes. Like, I don't feel like there's a proper way to raise them.
Well, there is. You know what it is, and it's how
Yeah,
you would have
exactly.
done it without being told how to do it.
Well, I'm going to continue
raise
to
them to be
do what
good
I
people.
do. I'm going to continue to raise them the way
But that's it.
Yeah.
I try to raise people that I don't mind being around later in life.
exactly.
People that aren't pieces of
And
shit.
that's what Jordan
Yeah.
Peterson says, and I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
You want your little kids, you want to raise your kids to be decent people, and even at a young
Period.
age, at the age that our kids are
He's
now,
like 2 to 4 is the most important.
yeah,
years.
they should be.
Yeah.
Well, you should be able to bring your kids out in public. I had lunch with my family down in Williamsburg yesterday, and there was like 15 of us
God, you
there.
keep going back to Williamsburg.
Yeah, I love it down there. And the kids ordered their own food, and they used their manners. And my uncle was like, "Oh wow, check that out." And my wife's like, "You goddamn right they use their manners, and you goddamn right they know how to order some chicken."
Still
tenders."
makes me happy every time when my daughters look up and say,
Yeah.
"May I please have a grilled cheese?" and this, and then say what they want and say thank you.
Yeah,
And I'm like, "You're damn right.
yeah,
That's how you order."
yeah.
It's like, this isn't a complicated thing.
It's not
and then
asking
what
too
sucks
much.
is I turn around and go, yeah, I'll have the steak. And I'm
Bring
like,
me this.
I don't have the manners that I'm instilling there. I hope they haven't figured that out yet. And
Yeah.
I've started to like try to be more cognizant of it, where I'll be
Yeah.
like, may I please? Just to do it.
Right.
And by you doing that, it is the best way to show them, because you can tell them, but if you show them, they pick it up.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
Learned a lot today.
that's right. We're educational now. Number one educational podcast in Richmond.
We did talk some sports, thank goodness.
Yeah.
So we hold on to that moniker, right?
Yeah. Hold on,
So-
we did? We talk sports?
I thought we did.
I don't think we did at all.
No.
I'm
I don't
watching.
recall it.
We're watching
And
sports.
watching
Yeah.
sports. Well, we talked about Nike and Kaepernick.
There
There,
you
you go.
go,
We
yeah.
touched on sports.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
The rain continues.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We always do appreciate having you guys here. And if you haven't had a chance to Cincinnati swap somebody, how about you just grab their phone and sign them up for the show? It's real easy.
5-star rating.
Gives you something to talk about around the old water cooler. And if you haven't had a chance to send us any topics, please do reach out to us at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com, or you can always check us out on our Facebook page, or you can reach out to us on Twitter or
There
Instagram
she
at
is.
ITPH Podcast. And I do believe Ely's still working on the YouTube,
You got it.
so you can check us out on YouTube. In fact, you'll get everything with the last 10 minutes of this episode, because I heard that thing cut
Perfect.
off right there at the end. So if you get a chance to subscribe to us there, that would be pretty
Yeah.
helpful, to
Yeah.
say the least. Now, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?